Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Q&A with the director of SISU, Jalmari Helander. Mr. Helander, this was one hell of a ride, and I can agree with the main character of ours, Perkele. That was very good. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came up with this idea, with the script?
It was it was an idea I had have a long time to do something about the gold rush in Finland back in the days, but I never got the proper idea how to make that an action film. And a couple of years ago on Christmas, I somehow had an idea of Nazis destroying the Lapland, and what would happen if I combine these two ideas. And like a minute after that, I knew exactly what I was doing.
So basically, it's partly based on a real story of the gold rush and the Nazis being present in Finland.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and it's taking place in Lapland. You also had two other movies that were taking place in Finland, but they were shot in Germany and in Norway, if I'm correct. So this was the first time you actually shot in Lapland. What was it like? Because the scenery was breathtaking, but what was it like shooting there?
Well, it was super nice to finally be able to do it in Finland. And I had this thing about the mountains before because of Cliffhanger. I really wanted to do like mountain stuff and still be in Finland. And I know it's a bit crazy, but I'm now fine with the mountains, so I could do it really in Finland. And it suits so well in the film, the whole location with no trees and the vast landscape. I really liked it.
Yeah, and there were a lot of explosions there as well. Were they all practical effects, or did you have lots of visual effects as well?
Well, all the big explosions are practical, but of course we had to use quite a lot of VFX also to do the shots I needed. And it was a bit tricky because we were in almost like a nature park kind of environment, so we had to be really careful with all kind of explosions and not to leave tracks to the nature and stuff like that.
How was it shooting on location? I'm guessing it can get pretty cold up there. How was it on the crew, on the actors?
For me it was nice because I had a lot of clothes on, but they were, of course, like Aatami. He's barehanded, no hat, the whole film. And Jack Doolan, who plays the wolf guy, who's raping the women, he said to me, "I'm going to be like shirtless." And I was like, "All right, do it, man." And it was really hard sometimes because the wind was so strong. It blew the helmets off from the Nazi soldiers and like 26 meters per second in a days. But it looks good on the screen, and it looks basically quite warm also because it's sunny, but it was very cold.
Yeah, so it was his idea to be shirtless. Did other actors have input as well from themselves?
Of course, every actor has an input of what they want to do, but it was nightmare for them. Quite many days, like how much the sand goes to the eyes, and you basically can't hear anything. You have to shout everything. Even from 10 meters, you can't even shout anything. It's nothing to be heard. But still, I think it's really important to be in a place where you are somehow like struggling with the nature, and if I feel too comfortable, Like if I would be in like a studio with a green screen, like 2 months, I would be lazy. Like you need to be struggling to
Yeah,
get something done.
challenges you
Yeah,
in a way.
and I know that if I'm too comfortable and I have like too nice time, I know that something is wrong.
Yeah, and maybe it helped with their performances as well.
Yeah, because we are doing a film which is a struggle itself.
Yeah.
So it somehow helps. It makes everything, of course, more complicated and difficult, but at the same time, it makes it more real.
So how long did it take you to shoot it? How long did the whole recording take? Then how much time did you spend in Lapland?
We talk into the microphone.
Sorry?
Talk really well into the microphone.
It was something like 37 days in Lapland, and then we had some shooting in the studio. Of course, we didn't have that much like indoor shots. It was all exterior, so we didn't have so much to shoot in the studio. But like the plane sequence, that's what we did in the studio.
Yeah, that's not a lot. And when you were writing the script, did you have particular actors in mind? Did you know who you wanted to play, especially the main characters?
Jorma was the first guy to know about this idea. When I had the idea, I called him immediately and how to test this idea, that how would it feel, that like what do you think about this idea, and he was like, this is really good idea. But when I finally wrote the script, he really need to thought about it, because he 64 or 63 now? Like, is he able to do it? But I'm glad he decided to do it.
He's in a great form.
Yeah, he's better shape than most of us.
Yeah. His character didn't say a lot. How was it like to direct the actor who doesn't have any lines?
The biggest challenge was writing a script without lines.
Yeah.
And at first it was really terrifying because the length of the script mainly comes from dialogue. So I was thinking that this script will be something like 15 pages long. So it was terrifying, but also it was really good experience, and I encourage everyone who's writing scripts, like, lose the dialogue, throw it away, because it helps you to think like more cinematic way, because we are not doing like a radio play or audio book, we are doing a film, so it really helps. It forces you to think through pictures and what can you do without saying anything.
Yeah, you want to show, don't tell. That's
Yeah.
like a rule.
Well, action speaks louder than words.
That was actually one of my questions. What would be your 3 main elements that, in your opinion, make for a good movie like this? What does a young, aspiring filmmaker has to go for? What is the most important thing that you have to work with in a movie? 3 things.
Well, that's a really tough question. I don't know. To me, it of course comes with experience. Like when you have done enough to understand that, because only thing you have is a feeling. You don't have anything else. There's no like rules or anything. It's only like what you feel is good. You just have to trust yourself, and if you feel this, what you are doing is good, that's what you should be doing. And if anyone else says you that maybe you should do it like this, it every time makes the film a little bit, what's the word, badder, worse, like, because it doesn't fit into the whole thing anymore. You just have to trust yourself.
Trust yourself. One more question concerning that. You said that you were working on this project before SISU for 6 years, and it fell through. And then you came up with the idea for SISU. Was it very easy to sell it then?
It was the easiest sell ever. I don't know what happened, but I wish every project was like SISU, because I wrote it. I was really mad and jealous of everyone else doing what they are doing, and I haven't done anything in 8 years basically, just some like TV shows and stuff like that. And I used that as like a fuel to, I'm gonna just write what the fuck I want and not to think like what anyone would think about this, because this is my last chance basically. I told this to myself. I'm not sure if that was the truth, but I told it to myself that you have to do something different now. And when I lose everything that was like restraining me, or that what audience would like, or what the financiers would like, then I wrote SISU, and every place we sent the script with Petri, it was like maximum 24 hours when the yes came, like we cannot be in this one.
I think that sounds pretty much like the definition of SISU.
Yeah.
Were you in the audience now during the screening?
Of course, I'm always there.
How did you like our BIF audience?
Well, I loved it, and I feel in Toronto it was also really super nice to have like a reaction from the audience, because in Finland, no matter what it is, people never make any sound. They don't even breathe basically. But in Toronto it was a wild ride, but in here it was much bigger. And at times in the beginning I felt that, is this a good thing? Like, are they ruining some scenes with shouting stupid things? But I think it was a really good experience.
Are there maybe some questions in the audience?
We can also take questions through the stream, of course, which is happening right now through YouTube and Facebook. But I think we have a question in the audience. Go ahead.
Hi, I absolutely loved the film. It was unbelievable. So I wanted to ask, the film is in English. What was the reason choosing to do it in English, as well as how did the casting process go? Were you casting actors only in Europe? Did you go through casting? What was kind of that whole process for you during the making of?
When I was writing it, I thought it would be like German, that they are talking German, but I talked with the producers, and if I'm gonna like make this sell easy, I have to do it in English, and it wasn't a problem for me. Basically, if you think like a lot of like Hollywood Nazi movies with Nazis speaking English, the only thing, the rule for me was that they have to speak another language that Aatami does, because he doesn't understand what they are talking. He can't like having conversation with the people. He has to be with a different language. And most of all, because I've always struggled with the thing to do a Finnish film with a bigger budget, so we need to speak English anyway to have the money to do it. So I've struggled with the idea that how can I speak English in this film? But with SISU I realized that the problem was solved more easily, just not to talk Finnish at all. Like, just don't talk. That's the Finnish way to do it.
And about the casting process for the other actors, can you tell us a bit more about that? Because you had the leader of the Nazi group. How did you find him, for example?
Well, Axel Henny came to the project because I loved Headhunters when I saw it for the first time, and he looks like a Nazi.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. But basically, it was during it was a result of a lot of casting tapes. Of maybe the biggest problem was Aino, the girl who's playing the one who tells the story about Aatami, and that I casted almost everyone like famous female actor in Finland, and Mimosa was the last one, and she really nailed it.
Yeah, I really liked that SISU teamed up with all the women, and the women got to show some SISU as well. Now the audience called him SISU. Well, it's not his name, but he became SISU in a way. Was that your intention to, personify what SISU is and means?
Yeah, when the idea came, it was clear that this, because I have to find something from Finland that I can sell to other countries. And I've already done Santa Claus, so Sisu was one a creation of what I think Sisu means, and it's really important thing for me to be in Finland, from Finland, what's like this, the concept of Sisu. And it was so great to do a film to the like all the other countries what Sisu means.
Can we expect Sisu to come back?
Well, I have an idea about what happens after that, and that was basically one of the biggest problems when I was writing the script. Like, what will Aatami do when he has all the money in the world? Because I want to make a happy ending in the film, but I didn't see anything good happening to Aatami when he has all the money in the world, because he's a man who wants to like do things. When you have all the money, you don't have to do anything. So in my mind, the only like possibility was that he will drink himself to death or something like that.
Oh, that's tragic.
So then I decided, okay, why don't I just stop the movie in the bank? Because that's the thing he wants to do. We don't need to know anything after that. But there might be a film when he is doing that what I just explained, and somebody needs his help.
Okay, maybe some other questions in the audience or online?
Hi, I love all your movies. They are bangers. But when you did The Big Game, it was your second long feature, I think. How did you manage to have someone like Samuel L. Jackson caught in your project? And how did you react when he said, yeah, I do it?
Probably it's a combination of him liking rare exports, liking the script, and having time to do it. And when I heard Sam Jackson is going to be in the project, I was really happy. But it wasn't just very nice ride with Sam in the end, but he was a bit of a prick in the studios.
No.
Never meet your heroes.
Yep.
Any other questions? Yeah, in the back.
Hi, I'm not in the movie industry, so it might be a stupid question. But in the introduction of the movie, you were talking about the project you have been working on for 6 years, and you didn't manage to realize. Is there any chance it will be picked up again? Do you still want it to pick up, or are you just tired of it?
Well, how to say it? I'm in good terms with not doing it. But at the moment the film is fully financed and I'm looking for the cast. But if I'm not finding the best actor for do that film, because it's a big film and we need like a A-level star for it. And I want to be very sure that he's the right one. If that's not going to happen, I'm doing something else.
And what are you working on right now? Is there a project you're working on besides that one?
Yeah, I'm writing an action film with no dialogue at all.
You got the
That's a
taste
challenge.
with SISU?
Yeah, I really got the kick of it. Like, what would happen if we don't say anything? And
That's the most finished thing I've heard today.
yeah, and there are a lot of offers now from Hollywood, which I need to be really careful at to trying to maintain what I'm trying to accomplish in my career.
Maybe last question from me. What was your favorite scene to shoot, and what's your favorite scene to see on the screen?
Well, I don't have a favorite scene what I wanted to shoot. Maybe if I really think about it, it's probably Atami finding the gold, because Jorma made such a good acting in that scene and basically throughout the film. But what is really important to me is to be in the screening where people are watching it, because I know that they don't have slightest idea what's going to happen next, and that really keeps, like, it gives me such a good feeling, like they are expecting what is Atami going to do, but they don't have any fucking idea what's going to happen, and that really makes me happy.
Yeah, and you managed to come up with lots of different ways to keep us entertained. It seems like you had a lot of fun writing all those things.
Yeah, especially when I had the idea how to survive underwater. That really made me glad.
What would be, if you had unlimited means, budget-wise, actor-wise, what would be your dream project?
I don't know, that's a... No, it's a rude to say it's a stupid question, but
I'm sorry.
when you have like unlimited means, you're gonna do a film like Gray Man in Netflix, which really sucks, because you're gonna solve all the problems with money, and it doesn't make anything good about anything. When you have limits, you have to be clever what you are doing, and that makes a good film.
A stupid question, but a good answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
One last chance for questions from the audience. If there are none, we will slowly wrap it up. I hope we will be able to see you again here at BIF.
Whoever